guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Crystal K. And today we have two of my favorite guests back with us, and we're going to be discussing the hot topics. Once again, we do have 4 hot topics today, and we're going to go ahead and get into it.
Hey, my name's Kiera. I'm back with Crystal, and I'm ready for some hot topics today.
What's up, everybody? It's Carlos Smith back again with the superstar, Miss Crystal K. Ready to roll again.
Alright, so you guys ready to get into our hot topics for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so first thing I'm going to start off with, our first topic is called summer freeze. Any guesses?
Does weather change it back and forth?
I have no clue.
No clue, okay.
I don't know.
So this one is actually going to be about Summer Walker and mental health. So everybody's familiar with the whole Summer Walker thing going on right now?
Yeah.
Alright, so basically, do you feel, well, I'm not even going to ask a question. Just tell me how you feel about that whole issue.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, it's tough. That was tough too. I guess if she's and first of all, I'll say I want her to get the help she needs to like deal with that kind of stuff. Like I can't tell her how to deal with anxiety, whatever she's dealing with. I seen a post where she was saying she was gonna quit music, and then I seen when she'll be like doing tour dates or whatever. I believe she might have cut it down some or whatever. But I don't know. That's tough too. But I think I think she just definitely needs to get the help she needs. And it's hard to tell somebody how to deal with anxiety and stuff like that. But if it's something that first of all, she definitely needs to make sure it's something that she really passionate about, something she really wanting to do. Because if she's just doing it for money, of course she's definitely not going to enjoy it. Then if that's all it's about, is just getting a quick bag and then that's it. But other than that, the album was very dope to me. I didn't know who she was until I actually heard her on the Ross album.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
I didn't know who she was till then. So, but once I heard her on there, I was like, let me check out her album, and it was dope. But I didn't know she was dealing with all that other stuff, and then with anxiety and all of that. But I just hope it's something that she's really enjoyed. I would love to see her continue to make music if that's what she wants to do, but definitely get the help she needs.
I feel like Summer Walker is so talented, and when you're that talented and you just want to express yourself, like the age of viral fame is just ridiculous. Like you can post, a couple videos, and the next thing you know, you have a legit fan base. And I feel like there's a difference between wanting to make music and releasing it and just having it out there, just hoping that you touch somebody's life or just let people know that they can relate to you. And then there's another aspect of it of making a profit. And tour dates and concerts and meet and greets. And I feel like maybe she wasn't counseled correctly on that either. Like you can have concerts and just do a concert and people buy tickets and they will show up if they really like your music. But as far as the meet and greets, like she was upset with people not being able to touch her or not being able to hug her or like take really close selfies or whatever. And it's just like, okay, you don't have to do all that. Like there's just so many different ways to stream music, to listen to music, and actually be an artist without having to do all that. So I feel like maybe talking to her manager and whoever was setting up these tour dates and these meet and greets, were like, you have to tell people, I'm not comfortable with this. And you can go on tour and you can release albums, and if you're not a social person, like those people up on stage, they can't see this audience unless everybody fashions themselves on the air. Like it's a black crowd out there. And I feel like that's what she was expecting and not actually having to interact with a lot of people. And I think that, just being a public figure, anything you do is going to be criticized. So people are like, oh, well, she used to work at a strip club. She used to be a stripper. Like, she should be used to everybody being all over her. And it's like, no. I mean, people play different characters throughout their lives. Like, she was doing something at a time that, I guess she probably assumed it was only going to be temporary. And you never know how she had to mentally prepare for each night at her job before going in there and having to deal with that. But if she doesn't have to do that anymore, I can't blame her for not wanting to be in situations that make her feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Now, before her little IG live rant that she did, she probably should have told, like, because she said, I'm sorry to my manager, I'm sorry to these people, but I just gotta get this off my chest. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna lose some fans right now.
I didn't see the IG Live. What was she doing on
I mean, just different things that she was being criticized about because she said she didn't like to take baths and
Yeah, I heard about the bath.
yeah,
so
yeah, she carries like a little wash up bowl when she's at public places because she's like, you know, you can never really get a public shower clean. So if I don't have to take a shower where I am, like I'm gonna use my little wash up bowl. But she's like, I take showers when I'm at home. Like I bathe myself. It's just I prefer to not have to use a public area. But that kind of came off as this is my bowl that I use on a daily basis to wash myself.
That's what I was
and
saying.
of course, everybody completely drug her. Like they were just like, "Oh no!"
Right.
And I think also with like how she expresses herself as far as like different hair colors and face tattoos and piercings and stuff like that, she was immediately seen like dirty. And they're like, "Oh no, you don't take care of yourself. Like your music is good, but I don't know, like you're a nasty little person." So she has been getting tugged in all type of directions.
Her image is a little bit different. She's not an ugly girl at all.
No.
Well, I didn't know who she was anyway, but she's definitely not an ugly girl. But her personality, sometimes when I see her on Instagram, she looks comfortable like on camera, like taking pictures and whenever she's in London on track her boyfriend.
It's just different for being in person. And I feel like maybe she should have talked more about where she needed her career in music to go before just being thrown out there.
But it's hard to say she just thrown out there because like she been making music though. Like she been had like a catalog. Like my sister been knew about her. Like she been putting out projects. So eventually, of course, maybe she was surprised. Like you might be right. Maybe she was surprised how much it took off. But of course, at some point, you gotta expect something to happen. Like you gotta believe in yourself. So of course, eventually you gotta expect for things to pick up. But like the meet and greet, I don't know how I would feel about this.
You're just obsessed with this artist and you want to meet them and you get there and they're like, you can't touch her.
And see that to me, I think that would rub some people the wrong way. Man,
it did.
I don't like how she treated me. Like I don't even want to rock with her. Even if you thought her music was so, but you went to the meet and greet and she let you take a picture and her personality was like she was just this cool person. You like, you know what? Her music might not even be on it, but I like how she treated me. Like you remember how somebody made you feel when you were around them. So
that's always one of my fears. Like I don't want to say a fear, but like people that I like so much. Like I know J. Cole won't be a butthole, but like if I ever did meet them in person, which I have met J. Cole, but anybody else that I really like, say if I met them and then they weren't how I thought they were,
you got the cold
I would be
shoulder,
like,
no recognition.
I can't look. It's gonna change my whole whatever of them.
Yeah.
And it's just.
And I feel like that's what it is.
I'm the same way with Kobe. That's my all-time favorite player. And I was like, man, you know, I was covering the Hornets. When they came, he was hurt, so I was like, man, I hope I get to meet him, but he wasn't there. But kind of glad, cause I'm like, man, I don't want to meet him, and then he just like.
Right.
We put these people on a pedestal, and they really, I mean, they might have more money. And
but
they might have more stuff going on in their life, but they are still human. And it's like, how would you feel if you showed up somewhere and people were just like, hey, like all over you, and just like, you know.
So you do have to take that into consideration. Maybe they were just having an off day. They might not be feeling it today. You don't know how many little meet and greets they done been at all day. Like you just never know where they are.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot. Just that public eye all the time with social media and in person. It's a lot. It's heavy.
Yeah, that would be hard knowing like you can't go to the grocery store without somebody holding up a camera and taking a picture and stuff like while you eating at a restaurant with your family or something and people coming up putting the camera in your face all the time. So I can understand it too.
So let me ask y'all this. Still talking about the mental health. Why do y'all think that we're hearing so much about mental health now opposed to like a couple years ago?
Again, just times changing and people are. You may not even really know all of your friends and followers on social media, but people sometimes do overshare. But you might realize, hey, like everyone's kind of like me, and so everyone's struggling with the same thing. And then you realize we need to talk more about this because trying to act like everyone's life is perfect and you have everything is what's causing like suicide rates and even robbing and killing and all that other stuff. Like if you want to look like this person and have what this person has. Just that need to be like perfect will really ruin some people, whether it's self-harm or harming others. And I just feel like you just have to realize like everyone's going through something, and you have to take care of how you're feeling with yourself before you let it control how you live your life.
I think it's kind of more, people are more comfortable with doing it now because it's something to talk about. Like a few years ago, people wouldn't talk about it, and if you said something, like, man, what, you going to get help or something? You tripping, like, something wrong with you, man. So now I think people are talking about it, it's like, okay, they depressed or whatever. So I mean, like, now people feel like it's okay to like talk about it now without being criticized more, and especially with like celebrities. If they were to say something about, you know, they deal with these mental issues or they depressed, you like, man, you got all this money, what you complaining about? You good, like you don't know how it feels to be like us or somebody else, like living, they're struggling to try to make it or something like that. You making millions of dollars, so what are you complaining about? What you depressed for? But now people, I think it's more like appropriate. I don't want to say it's like a cool thing because it's not cool, but people are just more comfortable.
More acceptable.
Yeah, it's more acceptable now, and it's like, okay. They kind of know, I kind of understand how you feel because, man, I've been down, and now I see that it's okay to like express how you feel.
All right, so this one, because this may be something that we talk about later, so I just want y'all to hit me with a yes or no right now. Is society more tolerable now or less? Wait, that's not yes or no, but
As far as mental health,
just everything. Overall, with everything. Like if you had to take a mass majority vote, would you say we are more tolerant of everything that happens now or less? Opposed to maybe
I would honestly say it's the same.
It's the same?
It's the same.
Lois?
I just think it's it's hard to say. I would say, cause like they quick to cancel you now. I say it's more tolerable.
More, okay, so same and more. We're probably gonna come back to that in a later episode. The next one I want to go to, we're gonna leave it there with the mental health and summer freeze. Our next one, I'm gonna start with you on this one. This one is called, man, what time is it? I don't think y'all are gonna know this one. But this one is, do men have a timetable?
As far as what?
Anything. So I'll start this. Most women do, well, or used to. Sometimes I still think about it myself. I don't know about you because I feel like we're kind of phasing out of that. But most women are on like a timetable as far as like, oh, I need to be married by this time. I need to have my kids by this time. I gotta have this career. And so there's always like a number clock in our head. I know men probably aren't really thinking about kids as much. I gotta have them by this age. But are you on a time clock for anything?
I think people are, for some reason, we feel like we have to be on a timetable just because, like, I think we kind of like grew up that way, or growing up, we kind of see things that, well, okay, this person is married and they have a house by mid-20s or something, so we kind of feel like we have to do the same thing, but I feel like it's something that we feel like we're supposed to. I don't think it's necessary, but of course, I was kind of the same way too, think, you know what, I want to be married and have everything in order by the time I was like 25, and it didn't work that way. So I think it's normal to feel that way, but should we have a timetable? I don't think nobody, male or female, we shouldn't have a timetable on all this stuff, and like home ownership and stuff like that. I just feel like we grow up expecting everything to be in order at a young, early age, and then once it doesn't work that way, then we kind of like beat ourselves up. But I think it's something that we shouldn't have a timetable.
I think also like when we're younger, we think like 30 is old, and then the older we get, we're like, oh, maybe 30 is not that old. So I feel like sometimes that's why our timetable keeps moving back. But before you go, what are some of the items that are on your time clock table? Or were? I don't know if they still are, but were.
Early on, it was definitely like marriage.
By what age? I want details.
I don't know, man. I was thinking, man, because I would tell you, I would see, just like you see movies and all this stuff, and you would think, man, like, I was thinking maybe like 24, 25, like after college, marriage, house, a well-paying job, all that stuff. I expected all of that right out of college. So that's why I was like, man, this timetable is something that we should have put on ourselves because it's just so many things are gonna happen, like real life things happen. But for me, it was just like, man, I want 6 figures, I want a house, I want marriage, kids, all this stuff by 25, and I'm good. And then once you do that, to me, it's still like you put limitations on yourself. Like, once I get all this stuff, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to grow, evolve, and do anything else anymore. Like, I got everything I need. But
I can see it as a positive and a negative because it's like your aspirations and your goals, and you're striving towards them. But if you do not meet those goals, then what happens to you? You know, and like you also limitations. So. Your turn, young lady.
What's the original question? Did I have?
Do men?
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
I didn't know if I was going to have to answer it from like a woman's perspective, but honestly, like, no, I don't think that men have a time limit for things. Just like you say, you know, of course, with like having children and stuff, there's a such thing as geriatric pregnancy at 30. Like once you're 30, your pregnancy is risky. I mean, I work in healthcare, so like, you know, there's some different cases, but I feel like with today's society, like a woman can do anything a man can do. So maybe that kind of shows them some barriers. Like, okay, you might want to be, you know, the early bird gets the worm because there's a woman who's working just as hard as you are to get the same position. But I just feel like there's so many ways to make money now. Like times are just so different now. You don't have to work your way up at a company, or like there's just so many different types of companies you can start. So I just feel like men don't really have a time limit. Like you can just do so many different things now.
So I think when you with a timetable, you put more unnecessary pressure on yourself because you look around and you'll see like other people. Like I see it now, like a lot of people who went to school with upstate, a lot of them are now married, buying houses and all this stuff. So you like, dang, they doing all this. What I'm doing? Am I doing something wrong? It's like, no, it's not your time. Like you got to run your own race at the end of the day. So eventually, in due time, you just gotta focus on yourself, and eventually everything will fall in place when it's supposed to. Because if you do it, like if you get married when you don't want to, and you just doing it just because, and you gonna end up regretting it. And maybe some people you don't even have to have a big fancy wedding and all this stuff. All this stuff is like if you do it if you just doing it just because, just to be showing off or whatever. At the end of the day, I mean, those are your decisions. You have to deal with it. But if you're not doing it for the right reasons, then you might end up regretting it.
Men mature slower too, so I feel
That's
like even with marriage, like
you said that with a smile on your face.
even with marriage, it's like no man at 25, like you might grow up looking at your parents and be like, I want to be married by 25, or looking at movies and TV, but you hit 25 and be like, no, I'm not done doing hood rat things with my friends. So like even more women are thinking that way, but at least men, it's just like at 25, you're not even 25. So at 35, you might have the mindset of wanting to settle down, and you can still do that because you have, literally no generic reasons why you can't, or genetic reasons why you can't, or I mean, maybe even at 35, you might not be as financially stable as you want to be to start a family, but I feel like men are more level-headed the older they get. And so the timetable might be there, but it definitely starts later.
I definitely felt like mine was like after college, because when I was in college, I really wasn't even thinking about like marriage and family and all that type of stuff, man. I was just kind of like living in the moment then. Like I was just like, man, I want to see these refund checks and blow a little bit and have a good time, man. Like I wasn't really thinking about all that stuff. So it's definitely like you absolutely right about women mature quicker than men. Kind of like women almost have to in a sense.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there with our do men have a timetable? And next one that we're going to is Comeback Nicki. And Comeback Nicki is about Nicki Minaj. As you guys know, she did announce her retirement, but then she went back and said Maybe she's not gonna retire. Maybe she is working on some other music. I know that she got married and all that stuff. But is there a chance that Nicki can come back?
I feel like Nicki can release stuff and Nicki can be featured on stuff and it'll still slap. But as far as like best female artist out, no.
No?
No.
No.
Nicki has been running it for so long by herself, and I love her so much, but as soon as somebody got a little spark to them too, she couldn't handle it. And it's just like, think about if you were the only child for 10 years and then you have a sibling on the way and all that attention is about to be on you. And you might even have to help out with them. Like, you know, with an up and coming artist, like they try and get as many big names around them as much as they can to kind of hype them up some more too. So I feel like Nicki has been the supreme for so long. Like it literally hurts her to be able to be like, yeah, this girl coming up is fire. Like she's gonna take over the game and like I'm handing the torch. Like
and I feel like it should be the opposite because I feel like she
should
is the
be.
queen. So why not? I feel like it speaks more about her and how she feels about herself than it does about these other artists.
Right.
And I feel like I'm about to go on a rant, but I'm not. I'm gonna leave it there.
But exactly, like Nicki's work is like so good. Like she's been so good for so long, and you again, you cannot take away all that she's done for rap since she came out, and she's always, you know, Wayne and Drake and
so
Birdman.
Why are
like
she's her?
Well, I mean, because she can't handle sharing the spotlight.
So you think that's why people?
I feel like her saying that she's retiring was just like a publicity stunt, and then even after that, she was on that Spanish record that went #1, and it's just like, okay, now I've got something in just like every genre. Like I can retire and I'm still stunting on everybody. And it's just like, well, you gotta give other people a chance. Like you can't. What are you gonna be rapping till you're 80? Like no, there is a time for you, and then there's a time to pass the torch to someone else.
So her time is over.
I don't think that it's over, but she's not
her
gonna
time
be.
of sitting on the throne is over. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Like she can still put out music and people still listen to it, but there's someone better coming up every day, and you can't just be like, no, I'm staying right here. I'm not leaving, or be like, okay, well, if y'all think she's better, I'm leaving. Like no, just continue doing you, and you'll still be doing you. But you can't knock the other girls that are coming up. That's really that does show more on your character.
I don't think she's going anywhere. She can still make music. She can take a break. She got married, have kids, come back, and she'll still be fine because she still has the bars. Like her fan base, the people that rock with her, like they gonna rock with her regardless. I think the thing that kind of hurt Nicki was when she first came in. Though it's like she came in on the Wayne and Drake. They co-signed her or whatever, and Wayne co-signed her. And when she came in, it was like no female artists at the time, but now it's like female artists are like really popular. So you got like Rhapsody, you got the City Girls, you got Meg Thee Stallion, you got Cardi. When Remy was locked up when Nicki kind of came out. So at the time it was like Nicki was like the only female artist like at that time. So you just like almost every year
she was winning. Yeah,
she was BET Awards, she would win. And I remember one year they had no disrespect to her at all. At the BET Awards, they were putting a lot of females in there. I remember they had Rashida in the category from Love and Hip Hop. And I'm like, for real, like, no disrespect to her at all. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but I'm like, man, come on now. Like, that's how you know it was really like watered down and it really wasn't that many female artists. So I think that's what really hurt her. But do I listen to her music all the time? I don't, but of course she can definitely rap. Like, I can't take that away from her.
So let me ask you this, because you just made a good point. So if there were other female, and I mean we're kind of seeing it play out now, but let's talk about Nicki a couple years ago. So let's just pretend and bring it back. So if we did have some of the female rappers that we have today, let's say 5 years ago, do you think Nicki would have still been elite?
I do. I do because I still feel like she's still talented, but at the same time, being with Young Money, being with Wayne, is a superstar. Being with Drake, being around those guys, like if you're around them, it will definitely help you. So I feel like that'll still have some kind of effect. It doesn't always work out for all the artists that are with them, but I think Nicki was definitely good enough and she could rap.
I think she can definitely rap.
She definitely would have, just being with them definitely would have still helped her anyway. I still think she's just as good as any of the female artists out right now. Maybe Rhapsody might be the best female artist lyrically right now, but I still say even if you put them, compare them to each other, I think Nicki's still a bigger star.
Yeah.
Than Rhapsody right now at this moment.
And she's had more longevity than I feel like anybody right now. But I feel like the point that you made about the being the only child for so many years, that was a really good point. And to me, that's what brings it home about what Nicki's going through.
Maybe if she had the competition, then she would have been better than she even is. But to not have that competition for so long, and then there was nobody to compete with. And she even has lyrics that says that. So it's just like, that really went to her head, and that kind of made it kind of like in the stone for her. Like, okay, I'm here, I've been here. There's nobody who's gonna be able to come up and be better than me. And it's like, ooh, you gotta humble yourself.
I kind of wish she would have done that more and handled the whole Cardi thing with a little bit more grace and elegance. I feel like that's what kind of took her down, because I feel like God will humble you. And when you don't do things right, that's what happens.
And a lot of people that work around you too, like we've heard for years, like Mariah Carey, one of the biggest artists ever. She's hard to work with. She's a diva. Same thing with a lot of other people. And it's just like, you can't keep treating people like they're disposable when in their community, makeup artists, hairdressers, they're gonna talk too, and nobody's gonna want to work with you. And especially if it's just like me all the time, like nobody wants to be around that. A lot of it is like female empowerment and Black rocks, all this stuff coming up together. So like we need to embrace each other and lift each other up rather than being like it's me against you and I'm gonna win type thing.
And I think if she would have like embraced those younger artists, like when they were coming up, like they would even show more love to her.
Right,
like,
they're on features their way.
Like, shout out to Nicki for like showing me love and all this stuff, putting on features, but just to the fact just how big of a star she is. Like right now, I don't think there's no denying that the baby is like probably to me the hottest artist out right now. And for him to have Nicki on his feature, that goes to show you like she's still happy.
I don't think she's washed up or anything like that. I think she still has relevance.
Before she could lose an award, she quit because she realized the competition was there. So it's like, before I have somebody tell me that they're better than me, I'm gonna just tap out for right now. So like, she'll definitely be back, but she just didn't want to feel that heat right now.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to add? We made it through week 2 of our trending hot topics. You guys did amazing. Thank you so much. Anything else you guys want to say? Any final words?
No. I can't think of anything right now.
All things, just keep going. Don't quit.
Don't quit. Well, thank you guys so much. Once again, we'll be back at it soon. Once again, guys, if you have anything that you want to hear us talk about, please drop comments below. Message us. I will definitely put our social medias up here. And we will see you next time.